Magic and mystery. A mystery is something we have no explanation for. Magic is a way of explaining these mysteries. For example, early man believed that the sun came up by magic. Today, we can explain this mystery using the laws of science. Strange shapes like these in the English countryside, are still a mystery. Talking to ghosts. For centuries people have tried to contact ghosts using magic. Find out more. Magic and mystery. Belief in magic and mystery probably began with the very first humans, and has continued right up until the present day. Stone Age men made paintings of the animals they hunted. They probably believed that painting a successful hunt was a magical means of giving their real-life hunt a successful outcome. In the Middle Ages, healers who treated an illness with herbs were held to have magical knowledge. And until recent times, many educated people believed in powerful, frightening, and magical spirits or fairies who play tricks on humans. The shaman. Many people who follow some of the primal religions still practice magic. The shaman, who is both priest and doctor, is credited with magical powers. His or her spells, for example, rainmaking, make use of very ancient rituals. Cures are made with herbs and by faith. Patients who fully believe in the shaman recover, because he tells them they will. Shamans who use their power for evil purposes are sometimes called witch doctors. Their knowledge of herbs makes them expert poisoners. They use rituals such as pointing the bone to lay a curse on a person. Astrology. Astrologers claim that they can say what will happen in the future by studying the positions of the stars and planets. Modern followers of astrology make predictions using the movements of stars in the zodiac, an imaginary circle around the heavens. Star sign. A person's star sign depends on which house of the zodiac the sun was in on the day and at the hour of his or her birth. The star sign Leo. Oriental zodiac cards. Astrology plays an important role in many cultures across the world. Find out more. Astrology. The zodiac is divided into 12 signs corresponding to 12 constellations, groups of stars, in the sky. A person's sign depends on which constellation the sun was in at the time of his or her birth. Each sign is named after a character or object from one of the great Greek myths. The signs and birth dates of the zodiac are: Aquarius, the water carrier, 21st January 19th February Pisces, the fish, 20th February 20th March Aries, the ram, 21 March 20th April Taurus, the bull, 21st April 21st May Gemini, the twins, 22nd May 21st June Cancer, the crab, 22nd June 23rd July Leo, the lion, 24 July 23rd August Virgo, the maiden, 24th August 23rd September Libra, the scales, 24th September 23rd October Scorpio, the scorpion, 24 October 22nd November Sagittarius, the archer, 23rd November 22nd December Capricorn, the goat, 23rd December 20th January. Many newspapers print daily horoscopes. The practice began in the United Kingdom in 1930 in the Daily Express newspaper. Its first astrologer, R.H. Naylor, caused a sensation in October 1932 when he correctly predicted the disastrous crash of the airship, flying machine, R-101. Magicians. Magic is the art of seeming to do impossible things. A magician is an entertainer who performs his tricks with quick movements and stage props. In old times, people thought magicians were like witches. Then, magicians were called conjurers. The word conjure meant to call up evil spirits. Diverting attention. When a magician points to one of his props, he is usually doing something else at the same time. Famous magicians used to perform outside, in marketplaces or in the streets. Today, they are highly paid celebrities. Find out more. Fast talk. A conjurer needs fast talk as well as swift hands. As he speaks, his patter, words, is designed to mislead the audience. When he draws attention to a piece of apparatus, he is really saying, look there and not here. Early magic. The first conjurers were pagan priests, who developed various illusions to make worshippers believe that their idols were alive. Abracadabra and hocus pocus are very old, traditional words in conjurer's patter. Abracadabra comes from an ancient Hebrew phrase, and hocus pocus comes from the Latin phrase hoc est corpus, this is my body, from the Roman Catholic Mass. Houdini. One of the most famous conjurers was Harry Houdini, born Erich Weiss. Known as the man who walks through walls, he perfected the art of escapology, escaping from difficult positions. He trained himself to hold his breath for as long as 6 minutes, a useful accomplishment, skill, when escaping from a locked chest that has been lowered into an icy river. No sock. Many modern conjurers are great performers. In the late 1800s, Alexander Herrmann materialized several pairs of animals from a no sock floating in midair. The unknown. Can some people see the future, or read others' minds? Do monsters still walk the earth? Is there life in space? Even in this age of science, such questions remain mysteries. Many mysteries are probably just modern legends or imagination, but there are so many facts yet to be discovered, we may never learn the whole truth. Is it true? Some people believe that vampires, like Dracula, really exist, and they hate garlic. Why not? Why would people drag huge stones for miles just to put them up in a huge circle? Many sites are still unexplained. Find out more. Moving objects. Some people seem to be able to move objects with their thoughts, an ability now called telekinesis or psychokinesis. Israeli wonder worker Uri Geller is supposed to be able to bend metal objects such as spoons, using just his mind. Scientists are still arguing whether he is a brilliant conjurer or supernaturally gifted. Monsters. Reports of giant sea serpents also go back for centuries. Maybe the many reported sightings of the Loch Ness Monster in Scotland can be explained away as floating rubbish seen in bad weather conditions. A giant, hairy, ape-like beast called the Yeti, or the abominable snowman, is rumored to exist in the Himalayas. In the USA, a mysterious, ape-like wild man, known as Bigfoot, has apparently been sighted. Is Bigfoot just another hoax? UFOs. One of the great questions today is whether there is life in space. Are the unidentified flying objects, UFOs, many people claim to have seen really alien spacecraft, or just optical illusions? In nearly every case, when someone claims to have met an alien, they describe it as more or less human-shaped. In fact, it is quite unlikely that another planet would produce a life form so similar to our own. Even less convincing is the fact that in many of these encounters the alien also speaks our language. Witchcraft. Witchcraft is a form of religion that began in very ancient times, when people worshipped the forces of nature. The white magic of witches uses herbs and other natural ingredients, mixed with traditional rituals. Christians have often linked witchcraft with black magic, sorcery, and the worship of Satan, the devil. Witches in Europe. In the Middle Ages, women suspected of being witches were burnt. A witch's friend. Black cats have long been thought to be a witch's friend. Find out more. Witchcraft. In the 1400s, the church in Europe persuaded the ruling classes that witches were dangerous people who might rebel against the state. In 1486, two German monks wrote a book called The Hammer of Witches, an instruction manual for finding and punishing witches. They claimed that witches flew through the air with the use of an ointment made from human flesh, and often had moles or birthmarks on their bodies. Such a mark was believed to be the devil's mark. They also kept cats, dogs, and other animals, which were thought to be disguised imps, little devils, sent by the devil to help them perform their evil work. Salem, Massachusetts, USA. The most famous witch hunt took place at Salem, Massachusetts, USA, in 1689-93. Several young girls, excited by stories of voodoo, African witchcraft, told to them by a black slave, began to claim that spirits sent by witches were causing them suffering. They accused around 150 men and women. 19 of the accused were hung and 2 died in prison. Burned alive. Up until 1782, thousands of people were accused of witchcraft, almost all were women. Most were harmless folk who simply had the bad luck to be disliked by their neighbors. No one knows how many people were killed as witches. Some say as many as 500,000 were burned alive or hung. Superstition. Superstition really means a belief in the impossible, but we usually use the word to describe a belief in magical influences. Superstitious people believe that certain objects, actions or days are lucky. Other things, like the number 13, are thought to be unlucky. Holy icons. Some people believe that an icon, image of a holy person, is itself sacred, and that it can protect people from bad luck. Lucky objects. Different things are thought to be lucky, from numbers to horseshoes. Human skull. Horseshoe. Buddha. Numbers. Find out more. Unlucky numbers. Are you afraid of the number 13? If so, you suffer from triskaidekaphobia. Some say the number 13 is unlucky because there were 13 people, Jesus and his 12 disciples, at the Last Supper, final meal shared by Jesus and his disciples before his arrest. In the seating plan of the Concorde airliner, there is no row 13, and many hotels avoid the room number 13. Friday the 13th is thought to be the unluckiest day in the year. Perhaps this is because sailors have considered Friday a bad day to begin a voyage. Under a ladder. The gallows upon which criminals were once hung may be the source of the superstition that it is unlucky to walk under a ladder. At the foot of the gallows, a condemned person had to walk under a ladder. Broken mirror. Breaking a mirror, say the superstitious, brings 7 years of bad luck. This stems from a very ancient belief that to damage one's reflection is to damage one's soul. To wash away the curse, the broken pieces of mirror must be thrown into a river. Black cats. In many countries, black cats are regarded as unlucky animals. But the British believe black cats and white horses to be lucky. This is strange, because it was believed that witches often kept demons that were disguised as black cats.